Hey guys, welcome back to the Last Off podcast. We're on episode 7 now. If you haven't already, obviously, please make sure you subscribe. I'm pretty stoked actually. Today we got Caitlyn Moran on the podcast today. Thanks so much for joining us, sis.
All good.
For those that don't know who you are, it probably would be very little because most people would know who you are. But for those that don't, please introduce yourself. Give us a bit of background, who you are.
Hi, Caitlyn Moran. Played, I think, a handful of games for the Australian Jillaroos as halfback. Played in the last World Cup in 2017. And then I've been playing, since I was 6. So bounced around a few clubs. So that's about it.
Yeah, sick. And you were obviously brought up in Australia. So talk us through that.
Born and bred down in a really small country town called Muswellbrook in the New South Wales, the Upper Hunter. So bit of a country girl at heart and everything. Tell by my music taste. So my mother's Irish and my father is indigenous to Australia. So our mob's from out in Armidale, so we're Gamilaroi tribe, and that's very strong in our family as well. But we've got a few relations out in Cowra and stuff, so we mix in with the Williamses and the Munros.
Yes, it.
And a very proud indigenous woman I am.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And do you come from like a big family or quite small?
Yeah. So I've got a brother, couple of 4 sisters.
Oh, true.
We kind of all grew up kind of all together. So, cousins and nieces, nephews, aunties, everyone's kind of all in that one house and stuff. So
yes,
like with a lot of family around all the time on mum and dad's side as well. Dad's is bigger, but yeah, my mum, we always had cousins and stuff live with us as well. So biggest mob.
Yeah, sick. And obviously, talk us through culture because I know it's quite big. Obviously, I'm someone but born in New Zealand, but we're big obviously on culture. But so are you guys.
So it's very strongly who I am and what I identify with and stuff, and just to I used to go out to communities, and I know I try to get out as much as I can to a lot of the younger generation as well. It's with all, I guess, as everyone's been watching the Black Lives Matter stuff around, it's good to see some of those, some of those issues and stuff arising and coming out, getting voice now. It's always been happening, but it's kind of been, pushed aside a bit. So it's really cool.
100%.
Everyone coming together, and I've got a really few close friends and stuff around, and cousins and stuff that are leading the way in that aspect as well. So if you can out there, jump on, support the Black Lives Matter movement. The Aboriginal death, I think custody, when they're in jail and stuff, is 483 or 460, something like that. So
it's ridiculous.
And that kind of hits hard with me personally and with my family. I know it does, and a lot of Indigenous people around the world as well. So I guess the support with all that coming up now, and then being able to, football, with the platform it is, me and a few other girls, the likes of Nakia Davis and Talisha Harden, Bo Dela Cruz and everyone like that, if we can get on that stage and kind of represent our people as well as the non-Indigenous people, and, try to bring all that together and closing the gap and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. And it'll be epic if you guys could do that as well, because obviously you got Latrell and stuff that do it for the guys. It's really awesome to see them stand up for that. Obviously when I moved to Brisbane, I noticed that big time. I had heard about it, the way that the Indigenous people were treated, but I noticed it firsthand when I got there. It was probably one of the first things that stood out for me, which is real sad because over here we love our Indigenous people, the Māori people. So it's really sad, and I know it's obviously just coming up now as an issue. People are voicing it a bit more, but for you guys, obviously, it would hit home big time because it's not like it just happened. It's always been there. Yeah,
no, it's we're since I was a little girl and stuff, we have you can tell when you're in school, it kind of starts there, and it's just kind of trying to break that cycle of trying to take you want to teach the right history and stuff, and a lot of people don't actually understand or know the knowledge and stuff of Indigenous people. So it's that kind of barrier. But now there's more, it's more in schools, it's speaking more languages. And like you said, it's all coming to light now, and it's still got a long way to go. Definitely have a long way to go. But it's good to see that there is, our voices are now being heard.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the more people are talking about it, especially those not just in footy but in general, just using their platforms to speak about it,
Yeah,
is really
definitely,
good
definitely.
as well. What about when you go from like into footy, when you move into your footy and that, like how is the support in footy in general, like whether it be club or international or interstate?
Oh yeah, so we do, like, as you see with the men's and stuff, like there is a lot of, I guess, not workshops, but they do have like, what would you call them? I probably could call them workshops actually, where they do come in and you do like more understandings, and they try to teach, pay them respects more to our traditional owners and stuff like that, more so now.
Yeah.
So we have cultural days and cultural weeks. The men's get to go away on a weekend, like all together, all the indigenous boys, and even some of the non-indigenous boys do go along to it just to learn, you know, that the background, the history, and of the boys and even the females that they, you know, that are in the game of NRL.
Yeah.
And especially around, you know, indigenous, around how it means a lot, seeing a lot of the non-indigenous boys wear, you know, painted up boots and stuff, and all coming together. So that's really cool to see. And then we've got, you know, the All-Stars match, and to showcase the Māori, indigenous, and our Australian indigenous kind of talent and game and stuff like that. They all get to play, and the women get to play as well, so they go just as hard. So it's good to see. That's always one of the toughest matches.
Yeah, I remember when I heard about it, tickets sold pretty quick with that one. You got two like probably the best in the game, having at it at each other. Obviously, I'll go for the Maldives, but you know, got to support people over here.
No.
But it's good though. Like I think it's a great, like great match for them to have, and to have it alongside the men's as well just builds it.
Yeah, it is. What you can just say, it's a lot of heart put in those games by both teams.
Yeah.
All like the men's and women's. It's just you play, like we play the game because we love it, and there is a lot of heart that goes into it, and just a lot of pride in culture. And because they're two very strong cultures, it's, you know, it's always such a hard match because no one wants to let their, you know, their people and their culture down. So everyone gives their all, and that's why we all end up busted up by the end.
Yeah, 100%. Talk us through actually that like your guys' traditional, like, is it like a dance or
Yes, we have like a welcoming dance, and that we do. So there's not like certain dances that what we do with the indigenous girls. It's more so because everyone's obviously from different areas, and they have different tribes. So when we're in camp and stuff, we actually get time to practice our dance and go over it. And then like what we do, we try to represent every single player in the team, so they get to come out and totem or do their family, you know, their kind of dance. Because like, you know, you got, you know, your TI mob, your Murrays, your Corys, everyone's all different. We all try to incorporate that into a common dance that everyone can do. And that's more of just a welcoming, getting ready to go into a game of football. But also individually, they still get to come out with, you know, their own like families totem and stuff like that. So I reckon that's really cool to see, like involving the families more so as well. And it means like it's massive for our elders as well, which is what we're all about, is paying our respects to our elders and stuff, and trying to generation up, just to trying to get that kind of stigma of, you know, this is who we are, and it's our culture, and it's not shame to dance and to get up there and like, you know, proud indigenous person.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think it's quite cool. And it's cool getting to hear the understanding behind it as well. Obviously for like someone who's not indigenous person, to be able to hear it from like your perspective, gives us a better understanding as well. So no, that's cool. And then obviously moving into like your whole footy in general and that, like how did it all start? Who kind of inspired you to play?
So my brother Cameron, a lot of people know him as well. We grew up at the hip on everything he wanted to do. I know he wanted a little brother, but he got me instead. So I kind of, which I'm not much different to a little bit. But, just growing up, like I said, we're from the country, so being out there, I was always kind of a bit of a, I guess you could say, bush pig. You know, I was always no shoes and just wanted to be dirty, and everything that my brother did, I wanted to do, because I just thought the world of him. And you know, he brought me up. He was the man of the house and stuff like that. So I just thought the world of him. And he was one that kind of got me out, you know, taught me how to pass the ball. And we always, like, we had the mattresses in the lounge room, which I'm sure your mob did too. We always carried me around. So I kind of had to, if I wanted to play, I had to grow up real rough. And if you had to, you know, you start crying, then we all get in trouble. We all get in
100%.
You don't want to be the one to cry, because then you got everyone else in trouble. But no, and my mum, like she's probably like, you know, my favourite person in the world. She kind of sacrificed a lot for her children as well. She, you know, was raising kids by herself, and took me to all my games. You know, I persisted that I wanted to play rugby league, and just because my brother did it, and she was right, you know, right, you're going to be versing boys and stuff, so you can't complain or whinge or nothing like that. So, but she, you know, drove me to every game, every training, and kind of put her life, or not her life, but, you know, things that she wanted to do aside and on hold just for us. So very grateful for her, and I guess my brother to kind of push me through that direction. My sister more so, she's one of the shortest in my family, so they're all probably around 6'2", all basketball, and a bit taller than me. So, but yeah, being the shortest, I definitely didn't hold back on me or nothing like that. So it was really cool to have the support from that side of the family as well.
Yeah, 100%. And then did you like play at school and stuff, or
Yeah.
So how did that
I started playing when I was six or seven, down for the Musselbrook Rams, and then once we moved out of there up to Newcastle, I was played up until I was, you know, under 12s that I could for West, and that was with like the boys team. But like I said, like every weekend we're out playing and stuff, and absolutely loved it. Obviously, I had to stop at the age of 12, and I dipped into union a bit.
Oh yeah.
So I played some 7s and 15s up until, I think it might have been 2016 or 16 or 15. I'm not sure if you've heard of Rebecca Young. Kind of, she's known me since I was about, you know, very tall as well. So she, played a few of the Corey knockouts with her team, her family team, when I first, I guess, was at the legal age for it. And then she hit me up one year and was like, "Oh, I'm going to start a Newcastle team. Do you want to come for a run and stuff?" Her and her husband Mick. So, and I was kind of stuck with them for, I think, 2 years or something, like playing with them. So yeah, they actually kind of led me through that, like into rugby league, or back to rugby league, I guess, at the age of about, I think I'd have been 14, 16, around that. So yeah, big thanks to her, actually, got me back into it.
Yeah, sick. And then they obviously had that journey, and then moved into like outside of school and there, and going into women's. Like, how was that when you first started playing women's rugby?
Well, with the Korean knockouts, I think I was about 15 or so when I played my first women's game. So going from school was always like, I guess, like obviously the younger girls and girls around my age and stuff. So, and I was still learning the game myself, or, you know, trying to understand the rules and stuff. It was a very big difference going from that to the women's game.
Yeah.
But like I loved it. Like I love defence. So I'm just saying myself, I'm not the biggest girl, like I said, on the team, but so I got one of these. So I just kept going and going. And then growing up, I always had to like kind of stick it to my brother, or try, you know, I had to take the biggest person on the field on, and it kind of stuck with me going into the women's game. So that fear's kind of gone, and I just, you know, love getting in there, the defence and all the mongrel and stuff in it. So be injured sometimes, but I'll learn one day.
Yeah, no, 100%. And well, out of obviously the teams that you have represented, which journey came first? Was it like New South or Indigenous? Or Jurors?
I think it might have been the Indigenous All Stars in 2014. I think I first played. I think it was in Sydney. I might have been in Gold Coast, actually. Yeah. My first game, my first year with the Indigenous All Stars, and I got to do that like with Nikia, and like we've been best friends since year 7, and been kind of stuck at each other's hip wherever we go, everywhere together, and did everything together. So got to do that with her and a few of the other girls that we kind of come close with as well, and then made, I think, New South Wales the same year, but would have come second, and then I debuted for the Aussie girls in 2016, which I was lucky enough to do in Newcastle in front of my hometown.
Oh, sick.
I got named the day before as I was 18th man into the squad leading up to the game, and then in captain's run, the coach pulled me aside and put me said I was going to be coming off the bench starting, or probably not starting but playing. And I think it was Corbin McGregor ended up injuring a collarbone or shoulder in like a couple of minutes. So next thing I knew, I was running on the field, and I was out there for the rest of the game. I'm like, oh heck.
That's sick. That's pretty cool for your first game.
I had, you know, got to have my grandmother there, my mother, my brothers, everyone was there. So I was in my hometown, which I played for, like I said, played there with the boys in West, and so everyone was kind of there supporting me. So I was lucky enough personally to be able to experience that.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll go back to the Indigenous one. Like for you personally, like what kind of like emotions when you first got called up to play in that team, and even put the jersey on and be in that atmosphere? Like, what were you feeling when you got called up?
I think my mum was more excited than me actually when I first got there. And then once the squad and everything got named, I was proud person. Like I was just, I was like, that was kind of the pinnacle. I was like, yeah, I've made it. This is the team I want to be playing for, my culture and stuff. And then, they go all of a sudden I've got 100 cousins now. All of a sudden that out of nowhere. Oh yes, my cousins, this and that. I was like, oh okay. Yeah. But no, it was really cool. Like I absolutely loved it. And, like I guess I just wanted to play as the best I could and like to my strengths and talent and stuff, just more so for the team, because over the week that we had together, we all bonded and got like brought together and got closer. And then because we all shared that culture, all of us, there was laughs, a lot of laughs, there was a lot of tears and just that pride within myself. And then from that first kind of, when I got picked that first time, I was like, yeah, I want to make it my goal every year to try push to get better, just like mainly with the Indigenous team and stuff. Like you can't really explain it. Like it's just like I love playing New South Wales and Australia and representing my state and country and stuff. But to represent your culture, it's just a different.
Something different, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I was the same. Love playing obviously footy for any club and any team, but when it comes to playing for SAR, it's like everything doesn't even compare. It's something different. When we get into camp, together with the Usos, with the brothers and sisters and stuff, it's you can't really explain it, but it's same as you. Like the minute the first time I ever got named in it, I was just thinking of my grandparents, and it goes back all the way back. So I think when you get to play for your culture, it's definitely something real special and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I sent my jersey down to my grandmother, and they sent me like the video of her opening it, and like she was crying, and then I was crying, and then everyone. I was like, it's just. For them to see that we have kind of, we weren't always good kids and stuff, but to not go down, a bad path and to kind of be doing something with our lives that, means a lot to us. A lot of the Indigenous mob, a lot of the things that, well, we don't have a lot of things, but something like football's one thing that we all love. It's bred into us. It's who we are, and to make it on that big stage, not for myself, but for my family and for my grandmother.
Yeah, 100%. And with the New South Wales, obviously making that one there, that's quite a big game in itself, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I won't hold it against you. I'll go for Queensland. We seem to be going for the opposite teams now. No, but how was that? Like, obviously that would have been huge, like to represent again, like where you grew up and stuff.
Yeah, no, that was like to come from a small country town, which is, it's only like one street in, one street out, like a 7. Like there's not much there, but to be able to kind of put my little town on the map and stuff, like as you know, Origin's one of the biggest rivalries. Like when I ran out there, and I think it was might have been Steph Hancock lined up near me, and I was just like, bro, hey, this is it. How it goes. And even just like a few of the older girls that have been in the squad and team for a few years, to them to come in and to hear their stories and how much passion they had for the Origin and stuff. So if it didn't hit you when you first get named and picked, you definitely, you got some time when they just hearing the stories and kind of how hard they did it, previous years and what they had to fight for us women to be able to actually play it all, and then, to get onto that stage and to represent when you have, the blue colours on, or maroon for some, but blue colours on, it's just like we're all friends off the field and stuff. Like I love, the Queensland girls and stuff, but when it comes to that field, no friends in the field. So it does go hard, but no, it's pretty big. Like when I first played for them, it might have been 2016. I think I first debuted for them, and again I was out in the centres, I think, and then got thrown to fullback for a bit. So trying to just make my way into the half, into the halves and as a utility player. So, and the talent out there is crazy. Like with the other girls, how they play, and the game's gone from where it was to what it is now. It's insane, the skill level and the, I guess, dedication that the girls have. It's so good to see.
Yeah, and like when you guys go into like camp and stuff for New South, is it quite different in terms of like structure and stuff compared to like indigenous in that? Or is it quite similar?
No, not really. It's all pretty like you do have like a set, schedule and agenda and stuff you got to do. And everyone just kind of, everyone just gets there, they rips in, like does 100%. You just do your job, do what you got to do. And it's the same with all stars. Like there's a job to do, like, there's a game that's got to be played, and when to be serious and when to switch on, and, when to go hard, and then but we still have time to, joke around and kind of relax a little bit as well. So it's a very good, it's a good balance they have in there. And with New South Wales, the New South Wales squad and stuff, like we do touch on a lot now, especially on the last few years. We're doing a lot more mental health side of it as well. So it's not all just before. And when they brought that in, like that is awesome. To have all of us girls together and have like a platform and a space where we can, go to if people are struggling and stuff like that. So very big supporters in that kind of aspect as well, which was probably one of my favourite things that got brought into it. The Indigenous All-Stars, they're doing it now as well. Awesome. But my first experience of it was with New South Wales, and it was awesome to do.
Yeah, sick. And is it like kind of like workshops and stuff that they'd
so we get speakers in, and everyone like they'll come in and we get I don't know if it's a therapist, but somebody in that field as well to touch on the importance, and that's who we have someone there if you do have problems to go to and talk to and stuff like that. We get booklets, we get we all have to, I guess you can call it homework, I guess, in a way. So even when we're away from football, away out of camp, we still fill in our stuff, and you got to send it in each week, every second week and stuff like that, just so everyone's still checking in.
Yeah, that's cool.
In their home, their outside of football lives and stuff like that. So everyone's in touch and checking up on each other, which that's probably one of my biggest things, which I really enjoyed about it.
Yeah, that's epic. That's really cool to hear as well. Obviously it's a massive topic in this day and age, and we'll definitely touch on it shortly a bit more. But obviously with your Jillaroos, I talked to you about this before in regards to that World Cup. Man, that was something else. I so remember that because I went there to go support my good mate Monks, and we just left heartbroken after that stupid kick. I'm sure you can talk us through that that experience though, because that would have been unreal.
Yeah, well, just the game itself was probably one of the hardest that I've played, and again, I think I was supposed to actually do the play before, and I didn't. I think I threw it to Kezi or Steph or someone.
Yeah.
And I had Jamie Feeney, our trainer at the time, assistant coach, sorry. I could hear him and he's screaming at me to go for the kick, go for the field goal, because I didn't realise the score or the time. I was like, but just try to get that kind of step ahead.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to happen the day before, and the play before, and it didn't. So I was getting all kind of in my head again, so I was getting nervous and hyped up about it again, and then I just yelled at Brito to try to get the ball, and she just got, pretty good clean pass. I was right in front, so I just went for it, and it's kind of happened really quick. I didn't even realise what was going, and I didn't even know if I could hit it or not. I was like, just kick it.
Yeah.
Best. And we had I do a lot of kicking. Even growing up, I was always my brother and I would take me down, we'll set the tee up and start on one side of the field, work our way across. So I was confident in my kicking itself, goal kicking and field game kicking, and even just with the field goals, we ran through practicing over and over at our trainings. I know, only because NZ's such a strong team, and when the score it showed it, I guess, how close it was up until the last 3 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So it was good to not prepare for it, but to kind of have that in the back of my mind that okay, we've been through it, you know what to do, just
exactly. Yeah, but that's true though. When you go and when you're practicing and stuff like that, a lot of people talk about when people aren't looking and stuff like that, and you go down to the field and you practice, you kind of imagine moments like that, because when it comes
definitely.
to it, you kind of can just tune back into your training mode on how you were. When it was quiet.
Had everyone screaming at me, and everyone the team knew it was coming, so because they're all, but like I said, because I had practice and everything, I was like, nah, just kind of calm myself down. I was like, I've nailed them 100 times at training, but I was like, this is a one count, so just kind of blocked it all out and went for it, and
And broke our hearts. Yeah, cool.
Get out of here.
No, but that's cool though. And that was your first World Cup?
Yeah. So that was my first World Cup.
Yeah, because that would have been
that was pretty massive too.
Yeah.
So
would have been
good night to end on.
Yeah, I reckon. I'm sure you guys would have celebrated for that one. No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But obviously,
no, I went home.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, went home. Yeah, totally. And you guys follow her Instagram. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she's telling you. No, but obviously, there's obviously a lot of things that you've achieved and succeeded in footy. But like any athlete, there's always, setbacks or things that you struggle with along the way. Can you probably put, because you're actually coming out of retirement, as I've seen on one of your posts, which is really cool. Yes, and I'm actually really stoked for you to come back. And I'm sure a lot of people are too as well. But there's obviously been a time that you probably had a bit of injuries. Maybe not a bit, but significant.
So I wasn't. Well, with the one did my ACL, so I had a full recall on my left knee. It might have been not too long after the World Cup actually, and it was around the time of the NRLW was coming out and getting signed up. And as I said, I was from New South Wales at the time, and I was in talks with the Broncos a fair bit, and made the decision at the time to kind of pack my life up and move up to Brizzy. So I moved, I was working at the Broncos HQ with the Beyond the Broncos program, which is a program we go out to indigenous communities and help the kids and stuff like that. So I was all kind of set up back in training, and everything was all, going my way. I was, at a really good place and stuff. And then I think it might have been living up here for about 4 weeks, and then played my first game against Ipswich Brothers. I think it was 10 minutes into the game, actually, and I was all prepared, ready to, make me name and make me mark up here. And big note here, I snapped my own ACL without anyone. It was like kind of my own fault. So I had kicked it through, and fullback, it went up for it. I went up for it, and as I landed, my feet were facing this way, and she's taken that way. I think it might have been Cordo actually. And as I've turned to tackle her, my feet stayed that way. My knee just popped, and I just dropped. And that was massive. Like, that was my first big injury where not sure if anyone knows, but it's a 9 to 12 month injury that you can't you got to wait out the game for. And that played a massive toll on me, and like mentally as well.
Yeah.
Just having, like, all my family were down New South Wales. I just moved my whole life up here, quit my job down there, and couldn't really do anything. I was stuck here, I guess. So yeah, I kind of went into my own little shell and struggled with that like a fair bit, but then made the decision to move back home and try, I guess, progressively work on it and get back to rehab and get it done. But I think it probably would have took at least a good 3 months before I did anything about it, or spoke to anyone at least.
Yeah, because don't really talk about that much, like, when you'd get injured and that. I don't know if you're trying to get fit or whatever, there's always someone there to help you. But when it comes to season-ending injury, it's not really, hey, this is who you can talk to when you go through it. Obviously it would have taken a lot on your mental health.
Well, just seeing, all the girls still training and progressively doing their thing, and you're just like rehab, like you're by yourself, I guess. Like you still have like people helping you, but they're out there in the field doing stuff, and it just kills you sitting there just watching, because you're doing your own exercises on the side, and they do try to keep you involved as much as they can, but again, there's only so much you can do, I guess, as a injured player when it comes to the environment and stuff. So, but I was lucky enough personally, once I got home and had a lot of the girls like Nikia, Lavina, like a lot of the girls around me that kind of brought me back up and got me back into it. So it's good to have them there. But yeah, the rehab, I guess, was what I struggled with most, and I've kind of fell out of football a bit, just kind of, hid off from the world and tried to do my own thing a bit. So I was finally coming back out now and back on with it.
Yeah, no, that's sick. And you said it so casually before, but for you to actually pack up all your stuff and actually move to another state, do you have family in Queensland, or everyone's pretty much based in New South Wales? I didn't
at the time, so everyone was in New South Wales. I was the only one up here. At the moment, now I'm up here, I'm based in Sunshine Coast I got my mum, my stepfather, my sisters in the Gold Coast, my brother's down in Brisbane, so I have a lot more here now. I was actually enough. Steph Hancock and Mon took me in when I first moved up here.
Oh yeah, cool.
I'm very grateful for them, and like they've pretty much, I just call them you know, they're my second mums because they just they literally had to look at. I was like, you know, another one of Mon's kids. Kind of took me in, which was like massive for me, and like they supported me the whole way through, and they still to this day, like I catch up with them and see them all the time, and they mean a lot to me, and like they were massive, I guess, mentally for me at that time as well, and for them to, you know, go out of their way to bring me in and have me there, and like that was, you know, I can't thank them enough for it.
Yeah. And when you got to that point where you like you said it maybe been a few weeks before you decided to you needed to go back home, so like what kind of got you to that position where you're like, I actually need to go back to family?
Yeah, I think I would have stayed. I think I was up here for about another month after I did the injury. It just, like I was just like I found myself in a bad place, like just like I'd stay home all the time and kind of fell into, you know, not eating right, drinking a bit, and just didn't want to talk to anyone. Everyone was trying to talk, you know, still trying to check on me and stuff like this, but I just felt so alone. And, you know, I was like, they're all out doing, I guess, training and still moving forward in the football scene. And I just kind of felt stuck.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where, you know, I was just getting really bad. And I thought, no, I just need to go home to my people and, you know, get back to, you know, good people around me and those who I know can look after me, I guess, or help me, I guess, not look after me, but yeah. Ones that's kind of pushed through, which it just goes back to family again, and
100%.
Straight back in. I guess I actually just needed my mum.
Yeah.
I was like, as old as I am, I was like, I just, you know, straight away would bring her a fair bit. I just started missing mum and just wanted to come home and I guess get that love back, and just felt safe and felt comfortable back there, and
yeah, no, that's cool. And when you got back, obviously, was it kind of like a weight lifted off your shoulder once you got back home? It was just like you kind of
like I just felt like I was like, okay, I know I've got to start all over again, but I was like, this is where I can do it, you know, this is a place I can do it. And thanks to everyone in Queensland at the time, like did their best to help me, but all in all, like I just needed to go home, like I said, get back to my people and just be comfortable, be safe, back in routine, because I knew I'd get there, but just took me a bit longer than expected, but
yeah.
No,
that's all good. And like, is this like I guess like tools or resources that you use to like kind of help you along the way? Some people might like write or maybe go to the beach and chill out or be with is there anything for you that specific that helps you?
Fishing.
Oh, sick.
So I fish probably literally at least 3-4 times a week. Cool. I absolutely love it. Every weekend I'm out like camping and like I absolutely love fishing it. That's probably for me like country music and just fishing, like being out on the land and being out near the water, and you know that kind of lifestyle is just always, it's been who I was. It's how I grew up. And then like when I went home after my injury, getting back to that kind of lifestyle, I started feeling better within myself, and you know things are going to be okay. But if I'm ever, like for me personally anyway, that's what I do. I just love fishing, being out in the water and just sitting out there having Dolly Parton playing and chilling out.
Yeah. It's actually true what they said before I moved to Brisbane, or even Australia in general. They said, you know, if you go there, you're going to fall in love with country music. It took me a little while, but once I came back, I was like, hey, because you know the song.
No, it's kind of, I think we were like 7 or 8 years old, and I felt like Dolly Parton. Like I just remember sleep, like my mums and my family, everywhere you go, we're just like cleaning the house every day, or anything you had was just country music. It was playing. So we brought up on like, you know, Mel Haggard, Patsy Cline, Randy Travis, and it's just kind of like, you don't know the difference as you get older. That's all you listen to, and then just kind of pass it down, you know, generations. And I absolutely love it. That's all I listen to.
Yeah, no, that's sick. So, like on game day, is that on your playlist? That's pretty much what you play.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's I've got my slow country, my sad country, and then my hype up. So it's got all the, you know, fast-paced music and this and that, and I'm just out there, Cotton Eye Joe or something, Alan Jack, and going for it. So that's everyone like that. That's in the sheds and stuff. They never let me connect my phone anymore, actually.
Oh, true. Oh, you're one of those. They're like, no, don't give it to me.
Yeah, they're like, no, because it's just all country, so they're trying to hype up, and I'm over there crying to Neon Moon. So,
hey, what a track though! What a track!
hey, that's the
one. No, that's so cool to hear, and it's cool to hear that that's your like. I feel like everyone has something that they kind of go to. Actually, our first time I did fishing was actually in Australia as well, thanks to my cousin.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this is epic. Why didn't I do this before? They're like, yeah, we went down to down in Gold Coast. We went to a spot down there, and then I was like, yeah, what do we do? And they're like, my cousin was just like, yeah, do this, and then just chill, had the music on. And I was like, what the heck?
It's just a lifestyle. Hey, like it's just like even like now. I think I was went to Fraser Island 2 weekends ago. I went beach fishing up there. My stepdaddy's a massive fisherman as well, so we go crabbing, fishing, like yabbing, and kind of everything. That's all you do up here. Just fishing. So no, we love it, and I feel like family's always been. We're from the country, but we've always been big on like living on the coastal life as well. So always surrounded by water.
Yeah.
Even like the friends and stuff I grew up with. So like weekends we'll go camping, fishing, and that'll be it.
Yeah. No, that's sick. And obviously now coming back into footy, like what kind of what made you want to come back? Because obviously there would have probably been a point in time where you're like, am I going to go back, or is this
it? No, definitely. So I wasn't like, football wasn't on my radar at all. Actually, like when I first moved up here, I only moved up here last October, from Sydney. And then I got back into training, like just individual training up here. So just running and back into some weights and like field work and stuff. And I think it was Ness, when I first got up here, I was playing sevens and a bit of rugby. So she called me up and I got out to a few of those games as well. So once I started playing that and getting back around a team environment, I think it kind of just clicked onto me. And I'd go down to, I think I played with Highlanders and stuff a few times in Brisbane, and just being, my brother was filling in for the boys team as well. So just him and I would, just felt like footy was back. Like that's kind of what I was doing. So I just wanted to make sure I had, got back on my feet, like with like work, got my own place, like, I'm working full-time job and stuff like that. I just wanted to get settled up here first before I even thought about football. And then I not too long ago I had a call from Brad Donald from the Jillaroos, the coach. We had a bit of a chat and tried to put a plan in place. So slowly coming together. I don't know if I'm currently playing a bit of union up here at the moment just to get some footy under my belt. I'm not sure, or kind of just putting in place what I'm going to do about rugby league yet to come back by this year. So, but at the moment with all this,
true.
Going around, so I kind of just been training my ass off, I guess, up here by myself and doing my own thing, eating really good. And I was like, I want to have a crack next year, definitely. Also being the World Cup year again next year over in England. That's kind of something I do want to push for and go for. And I know a few of the other girls are like the same with that as well. So it's going to be hard and stuff. But I just made the decision. I was just like, you know what, like being in that team environment, being back around the girls, I was like, I started, opening up again and getting the love back because I did lose it. Like, I'm not going to lie, I did lose it a bit.
Yeah.
I sort of fell into just my little, lifestyle up here, and this is what I want to do. But that kind of got boring after a bit. So I was like, I love football. Like, I absolutely love it. So, like I said, I've played since I was 6. So it's kind of what and who I am. So hopefully get back into it and see where we go.
Yeah. Now that's sick. And obviously it's a bit different over here to over there. But like, what's your guys' like situation like with competition at the moment? Is there a comp because of COVID, or is it kind of pushed back?
So I originally was up last time with the Kiwana Dolphins, which is they play Div 2.
Yeah.
A few of the Murray girls here got me across and just to help them out and have a few games and play with them and stuff. But our comp up here got cancelled, and they're not putting it back on for the rest of the year. And I was going to go to that's when I spoke to Brad and spoke to a few of the Queensland comp girls down there, the Brisbane girls, and to see if I could do, travel back and forth. But at the moment, I was like, I'm just going to stick with you, or, play some union and footy where I can here and there, and hopefully get back into it at the, I guess, next season and stuff. I know New South stuff are back playing now, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
So I guess we just kind of, it's more day by day too, just with all restrictions and how we're all going to go about it. But me personally, I'm just kind of, you know, sticking to myself, doing my own thing, and then I'll make my way back when I'm ready.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, it's a bit hard, obviously, this year with COVID, and I've seen some of your guys' borders are shut as well, so that makes it even harder for some comps.
Yeah, and reshut again on the weekend that just went. So,
oh no,
because I did actually consider for a brief, I was going to go back to New South Wales and try just to, if I wanted to have a proper crack at, you know, rep football and stuff. But with where I'm at the moment, you know, my life up here and stuff, I was like, I just want to ease back into it. I don't want to go too full on and wear myself out and stuff. So,
yeah.
like I said, I'm training, I'm building myself and everything every day. So I'm happy with where I'm at and just excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, no, that's a big, and it is really cool to see actually you come back. Obviously to the game, no doubt you probably break more hearts next year at World Cup. Just don't break ours. No, but just obviously just wrapping up a little bit, but in looking forward ahead, obviously it's a bit hard with COVID and things like that. But other than the World Cup, is there any like goal or dream that you're still yet to achieve that you kind of want to achieve?
I definitely want to have another crack at All Stars.
Yep.
That would probably be, I know NRLW and everything's around, which I'd love to play in, but for me, like at the moment, like I do, like from missing, went and watched the All Stars, I think 2 years ago, and then missing this one again this year, just seeing the girls and stuff, like all you want to do is just be out there with your sisters and, you know, be around it all. So that for me, like I definitely want to have another crack at that and try like push, I guess, get that under my belt again, just to show that I am back, I'm still here, and I, you know, can play as well.
Yeah.
Still, you know, I love it just as much as I did when I was, you know, back playing before when I started in 2014, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's sick. And is other than like the All Stars, is there like any mini comps in it that you guys have like for your people?
Yeah, so
like
we have
or is the kind of finished?
Oh, like with COVID and stuff, I'm not sure where it's all at, but we usually have the Koori Knockout, which is one of the biggest annual like rugby league events, which has been going, I think, for 50 plus years and stuff.
Oh, actually, I think they like live stream that. I think I've seen a
couple so it's on our TV and they live stream, and it's means like it's the biggest event in Indigenous culture for some of us. So I know they have a QMC, which is a Queensland, the Murray side as well. And they have, like, we call them knockouts, so they have like little knockouts throughout as well. But again, with the restrictions, I'm not sure where it's all at. But I played last year in the back with my family team, so I played for the Newcastle Yowies. Played with them since I was, you know, I think 14 upwards. I've always played with them every year, and so playing, that was my first game of rugby league back actually, which was last October, sorry.
Yeah.
Very first game back, and just being around that again, I was like, that's where it started. That I was like trying to make a decision to move up here. I moved up here a week later.
Oh, sick. No mucking around. Just like...
Yeah, I was just like, this is it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Come up here, sort my life out, back into footy. So, I'm not sure if it's on at this stage, obviously with COVID and stuff. So it's kind of a waiting game, which I know stresses a lot of people out, but it's not much we can do about it. But that's really the biggest one that you kind of wait. Everyone waits, like you wait all year for it, because with that you get to represent your family. Like it's literally your family teams.
Yeah.
Your aunties, your sisters, your uncles, your cousins, your brother. That's the big one. So
does it happen at the same place every time, or do you like kind of?
No, so the winner hosts it every year. Like whoever wins, they host it the next year. So last year it was Central Coast, I believe. So I think my brother's team won it. So Newcastle All Blacks won it the year before, and we hosted it at Central Coast.
Yeah. And
then I think it's South Coast won it this year. So we're going to host it down in Nowra or Bateman's Bay, down that area. So yeah, every year you get to go around. I was in Dubbo for a few years, and then in Newcastle, and then you get to pass it around. It's pretty massive. It goes over 4 days. It's the Friday.
Oh, true.
Friday to Monday. So it's pretty big, and everyone's so passionate about it too. They know family teams, so best comps I've ever played in.
That's sick. Oh, I must have to check it out, because I know we had Pacific one in Queensland with like Samoa, Tonga and all that, and that they called it small, but when I went I was like, oh, this is big. I still remember my first one. I was nervous as they said there was only going to be a few people, but they had like the food stores and everything, so no doubt your one would be massive too.
Yeah, we have, they put on stuff like there's elders tent, so you have everything for your elders, like have somewhere for them to sit. They have morning tea, cuppers, everything for them. Everyone gets a gazebo, like every team. They've got, food stores, clothes stores. They've got all rides and stuff for the kids, and they always have like a welcome to country and a lot of dances and a lot of cultures floating around that whole weekend. So yeah, it's awesome. That's and there's an so
there it is. Now I know.
Not that I know.
Is this
no, I'm a sober driver, so it's all good.
Oh yeah, totally. Wow, that just leads so well into my next one. I was about to say, what advice would you give to us?
Well,
yeah, please share. No, what advice? No, actually, serious question though. But what advice would you give to a young one coming through that just wants to give it a crack and obviously look at you and they're like, I want to be like her?
Don't do that. Be better. For me, like the only reason, like one of the reasons I play football personally is just, to set pathways and to set, make it available for younger girls. Like I said, being from the country out where we were, like all I wanted to do was play football. I remember the day I got told, after you hit 12 years old, you can't play anymore. I couldn't understand why.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why, and I know it was hard, like mum and that to try to explain it to me, but I didn't. For me, I was just like, they're just boys. Like I've been playing with them for, since I was 6. I was like, I don't understand why all of a sudden. And then obviously as I got older, I understood, but I just want to be able to personally, like, to make that pathway for younger girls to know, like, let them know, like, it doesn't matter, like, you can do it. So you can do whatever you want to do. And if that's, play football, you want to chase it, like, just work hard, train your ass off. Sometimes you got to make decisions. Like there is, like growing up, I know, especially teenage years and stuff, it's hard. Like I even struggled with it, back and forth when you're at the wrong crowd, doing the wrong stuff. If there's something you want enough, then you'll know the right choice and decisions to make. So just go for it, eh?
Yeah. No, that's a good advice. I'll use that for me too. Thanks. And lastly, for a bit of advice for someone who might have been in a similar situation as you, they might have just found out like they've got a season-ending injury or they're working currently through rehab. What probably advice would you give them at this time?
See, that's hard because I struggled with it, and even though with football they do lead you up and do like kind of not prepare you for it, but it does touch on a lot, injury wise, because there was always someone injured and stuff, and it doesn't really sink into you until it happens to you.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't really until you like kind of, and it's different for everyone, Some people can bounce back and be all goods, and then other people like myself, like you struggle with it. But for me personally, it's probably like just talk to people, like don't shut off, don't hide off, because I just thought like that's exactly what I did, and I got to my worst. But it's like just open up, just talk about it. Like that's helped me. Even me just voicing about it to someone, all like within a day, I just felt so much, weight come off my shoulders and like stuff like that. They don't have to say nothing back. Just have someone to listen to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Part of it, but it is hard. It's going to be tough, and it does seem like the world's against you at some point because you're just like, like really, like
yeah.
You're at your kind of peak or your pinnacle of what you want to be doing, and you're out there, your name's out there, you're all happy, and then all of a sudden it comes crashing down. So it's not easy, but it does get better.
Yeah.
Just work your ass off in that rehab to get back.
Yeah, 100%. Far out, this advice though was like next level, eh?
I should start taking my own advice,
Oh, me too. I'm just gonna write some notes, No, but honestly, thanks so much, because I know it would help someone out there. That's actually the whole reason for the podcast, is for people like you that have gone on a journey and how you've overcome some of those situations. Because it's not talked about enough, and so being able to give you guys obviously the platform, but also for other people that are listening, that chance that it's okay. Because they're probably like, oh, she was over there, she's breaking hearts at World Cup, what?
It was one time, bro. One time.
Hey, that was one too many, right? No, but for someone to actually hear your journey behind it as well, and for you to even make a comeback as well. That's really cool. So thanks heaps for your time, obviously, today.
No, you're welcome. I've finally got it done.
I know, it took a while, but we got there. But no, honestly, thank you so much for your time.
No,
Appreciate it.
thank you for having me.
It's all good. And obviously all the best with the next couple of weeks coming up and months, obviously, prepping for next year. No doubt you'll come back strong. So
I'll be there.
Yep, you'll be there.
Got my own way, but I'll get there.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, for everyone obviously listening, if you haven't already, obviously make sure you subscribe or check Caitlyn's URL down there. She might have to block out some of her stories. No.
No more stories, man.
But obviously, if you've got any questions or whatever, you can hit her up on her URL. I'm sure she won't mind. But until next time, everyone, peace out.